Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Matt, the vocalist of Cryptops, and you're checking out my podcast, Vox&Hops, where I hang out with my metal friends, and we talk about their lives, their music, their projects, and most importantly, great craft beer. And then I share that conversation with all of you. Whoa, it's been crazy. Laws of the Flesh 2019. I'm in Asia. It's been insane. It's been really insane. We are nearing the end of it now. I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm having a great time, but I'm looking forward to getting home to my family and to be with them. I'm stoked. On this week on Vox&Hops, episode number 41, I hang out with Richie Cavalera, the vocalist of Incite. Check it out. Here it is, Vox&Hops, episode number 41.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
What's up, everybody? Today I'm with Richie Cavalera, the singer of Incite. We are in Rostock,
That
Germany.
sounds right.
Yeah, and we've been on tour together. So I've been out on tour for about a week now, and you guys jumped in 4 days ago. Sadly, Incite's only on the bill for 4 dates.
You know.
Let's tell everyone a little bit what you guys have been up to. I know you've been in Europe for quite a bit, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. This is cool because we have been trying to get on shows with you guys for a minute because we kind of share the same agent in the States. So for it to finally happen, and in Europe of all places, even cooler. This tour's been great. We started with Septic Flesh and Crisian, and then did a bunch of headline stuff in like Eastern Europe, and that stuff was so crazy because it was no major cities. It was just like little villages, and but the people that came out, man, was just like, they'd go crazier. Those small towns that never get shows, they appreciate it. They're stage diving with 10 people there, because they just want to go ape shit. And it's been great, man, other than, the little hiccup in Switzerland and everything like that. But you know how tour is. You just got to roll with the punches and enjoy the best of it. And, that's what we've tried to do with this.
We're out here already, so if there is shit going on, it's best to just remain positive.
Exactly.
Because if you bring in that negativity,
then
it's just going to bring down everyone else, and then the vibe is just going to be sour, and then it's just like going down a toilet.
Exactly. And we're not supposed to make money anyways, so I didn't care.
It's nice to make a little bit of money.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I found some beers, and I went for a walk. I went to go see this cathedral, and as I'm walking by, I see this bottle shop, and I'm like, maybe they got some beer. So I went in, and I found... I hope I'm saying this right. If not, I'll correct it in the outro and intro of this one. The Hoppen or Molt is the brewery, and it's supposed to be from Rostock. The dude at the...
Oh, you found local stuff.
He said it was local.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't see Rostock written on here anyway, but I will correct it and I'll get it right. So this is a Heller Bock. Let's see what the Scepter's got. Cheers.
It looks amazing. Cheers, brother.
It's definitely got this like apple juice sort of color.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It smells a little bit sweet and malty.
That is absolutely delicious.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes really interesting. There's like
hell yeah,
a little
one more
bitterness
of
at the end.
those. Yes.
A little bitterness at the end.
I love it.
It's a little bit sweet. It's not as malty as I was expecting it to be. The finish is really, really nice.
It's not too perfumey, like so flavory where it just kills me. I love that.
Do you enjoy craft beer?
So much, but I'm more of the guy that will get like a Budweiser and just sip that, because I've mostly been on like the whiskey, the Jack Daniels, stuff like that. And beer's always kind of given me that heartburn indigestion, but lately, now I'm coming into my age, I'm feeling beer a lot more than I used to. That's for damn sure. Especially this.
It's interesting, yeah. Do you remember your first experience with beer?
Yes, actually, this is an awesome story. I think it was Sepultura, Red Hot Chili Peppers. My uncle Igor and a couple of the crew guys thought it was funny to get a little kid wasted, and got me obliterated, dude. And it was just, I think that's the difference of growing up in it. You don't think of things like that being abnormal. It's just kind of in the moment of what music is, and I think it's a freedom to be what you want and do what you want, and not have everybody kind of just looking down, shaking their finger at So I think it was a cool experience that I'll never forget.
Do you remember what happened?
I got extremely drunk. The mom came in, busted me, put me in the bunk, and I think I threw up and then peed in the hallway of the bus.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
How old are you?
I must have been about 12 or 13.
Holy fuck.
At the time. Yeah, dude. I always wanted to be involved with everything. I loved growing up on tour. I loved seeing it all, feeling it all, and I just wanted to experience it all way too fast, but it's cool because I didn't turn into an alcoholic or nothing crazy, and I kind of understood that it's probably not the best thing for me.
No, it's always good to set limits. And
I become an alter ego named Dick Bill John, so I try not to drink.
Do you?
Yes,
do
dude,
you?
It gets crazy.
It's too bad you're not on the bus. So
Oh yeah,
I would have loved to have met Dick Bill John.
He's a great dude, but he just doesn't think, So
yes, we all have alter egos in Cryptopsy as well.
Hell yes, I think that's what music does. That's what put us in this position. Is we're just not like everybody else. We're different. We like to experience the world and life.
Just to clarify for everyone at home, you are related to Max Cavalera.
Yes, that's my old man, dude. He's one of the coolest dads you could ever have. For as much as he's gone, when he comes home, it's family. It's on the road, it's family. And, without him, I don't know if, there was a lot of music from the day I was born. My mom, she started a bar in Arizona called the Bootlegger. And, Rob Halford would come in. Poison played there for like 200 people.
That's so cool.
So I was just kind of born into it, man. I'd have Nuclear Assault stay at our house for 2 months on end, and Danny Lilker practically lived with us. And, Jason Rainey of Sacred Reich rented out the guest room in our house. I mean, it was just a shit show, dude, but a great shit show. And, Nail Bomb written in our living room, and just so many cool things, man, that I never would have believed in my life that I would have been a part of and see and experience.
Was there ever a question that you weren't going to be a heavy metal singer one day?
Oh, no way, man. I must have been about 10. It was Pantera, Sepultura, and all I wanted to do was play guitar. So I put on Max's big BC Rich, and he let me come out and play Policia, and I got addicted, man.
On stage?
Yeah. So I did it one time, and then the next day I was like, yo, let me do this again. And then I had to go to the whole band and ask to make sure it was okay, and they were cool with it. And that, I think, kind of catapulted to the next level. And then the next thing I know, I was, playing guitar at the Dynamo with 100,000 people at like 14 with a mohawk and a pink amp. And, it just kind of was like so surreal, man. I think when you experience a crowd and fans and the energy and the love that the vibe brings,
especially at the level that Max lives in.
It was in the peak, it was the huge days of metal, as where it is now. I mean, it's coming back, but that was a great time for everybody. It was a huge family. Nobody was fighting against each other. It was all about helping and taking metal to the next level. And I fear that that's lost in some of the older bands, but I think it's just a part of the way it goes, because you want to retire and not play forever, especially in metal. You can really only do it so long to where you're presenting that show that people expect. So
to the level of quality that it needs to be. And I think a lot of bands have to plan and calculate and finish on the top.
Yes,
it's always best to finish at the top rather than peter out.
I completely, and especially in this, because you don't ever want to go from like a 2,000 seater to a 500-person club. That's tough on your morality in life. So I hope that's how we can all finish and have our careers end as well. There
was never any anticipation that you would never live up to what your father accomplished?
I don't think I ever came into it wanting to be what he did. I loved being on stage. I'm so shy in every aspect of my life. Dude, I'm just happy, chill vibe, a little pothead, just, but then when it's on stage, it's, you know how it is, you just become something else, and I think it's
definitely something that's inside us, though.
Yes, it's there, but I think it takes that to get it out, and I think that's helped me, deal with anxiety and things like that come along in life. And I couldn't see myself being a doctor or a lawyer. I could have did that, and that probably would have been way easier than this. How you get your ass kicked in this game. Your back, your legs, your knees. You're leaving family for a long time. So I think I chose the hardest part, the hardest route for sure. But I love it.
You mentioned that you were on tour a lot growing up. How did you deal with school? How did those go together?
They hated me. Because I was gone so much, they implemented programs where when you missed 40 days of school, you would start getting drug tested and all this stuff because I was gone so much. But they got mad because I passed. You know, and that's all I ever wanted to do was at least get my high school diploma, and then I could go full bore on music and do my own thing at that point. But no, it was any tour that was cool that I was like, hey, take me, I want to go right now. You know, we just did it. My parents, you know, they were cool. They understood that the education you get on tour is a lot better and more life fulfilling than what you're going to get in most schools. So for me to be experiencing people from all over the world, I think it opened my eyes to not have any judgment against people for, you know, just what they look like or what they act like. You know, I think it kind of made me just love everybody, really, man.
It's really awesome. You have a crazy life story.
Oh, dude, it's been nuts. I mean,
when Mega told me, he's like, dude, the guy is Cavalera's son. I was like, I know who I'm interviewing.
It's crazy to me, man. You know, I'm proud to carry on a legacy, you know, and I hope to, you know, carry it 30 more years so he can have a break. And, you know, I've just, like I said, I've done so many cool things with this. And probably my favorite thing and why I smoke cigarettes now was I must have been about 14, and, you know, Ozzy invited us over to his house because Max had just went through the Sepultura breakup, and him and Ozzy were really close, and Ozzy had went through the same stuff that Max did. You know, we're chilling at his house, and, you know, he's like, I'm going to light a cigar, and I want you and Jack to smoke it, and then you can never smoke again. And I promised him, and then 2 years later, I was full-blown cigarette smoker. But that's a moment I'll never forget. You know, I think the things I've got to see and do has just been a true blessing, and I'm so humble, and nothing's taken for granted. It's just a beautiful experience, man.
You mentioned the Osbourne. Was there ever a moment where Cavalera was thinking of doing a TV show or something like that when it was all big?
Man, we were way too fucked up to be on TV. I mean, Osbournes, they're crazy, but man, there's 7 kids, and we're all insane, and we're all on different levels and aspects of what we do in our lives. And I just think probably today it would suit better, you know, than it would have, you know, 10 or 15 years ago.
When the reality TV hype was happening.
Yes, totally. I think it was great what they did, you know, because I love that family. You know, me and Jack were great friends. Me and Kelly were almost dating for a while.
Really?
You know, because we would go on Ozfest, dude, and it was just, you know, the 4 of us kids, you know,
growing up together.
Yeah, literally, dude.
Just
on
insane,
incredible tours that were like, you know, just.
I miss it. I would love for them to bring that back.
I would have killed to be on one of those.
Absolutely,
like,
brother.
There was nothing like that ever for metal, you know.
At that level.
Yeah, where everybody had a chance. I mean, some of the biggest bands out now started on that second stage of Ozfest. Right. So what they did and, you know, helped build for music was incredible, and I wish someone could pick that up and run with it, because it's the huge void that's missing in America, and
a huge outdoor traveling festival.
You know,
Mayhem tried it.
Yes. Yeah. I think they got a little carried away and tried to expand too fast without building up. You know, the thing with Ozzy is you knew what he could do, so you just had to put some cool new things, and I think that's what Ozfest did. Like I said, just presenting these new bands.
You know, Shadows Fall.
Dude, so many. System of a Down.
Killswitch.
Snot. Incubus.
Snot.
You
Love
know,
Snot.
Slipknot even, really, you know, from their second stage.
Seven Dust.
So it's like, it just, what they did for so many young bands just isn't happening today for young bands. And I think it deters a lot of great bands that could have been, you know, from even getting started. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, I think that's just the way it is with the oversaturation, touring, all these things now that you have. But you got to just rock.
Let's talk about Incite. How did that all come to be?
See, now that was, you know, when I finally graduated high school, I had met these couple dudes, and, you know, it was kind of time to where I got away from my old man, and I was performing Bleed and all these singles with him, singing and kind of building my name and building my stage presence and things like that. So when it was finally time, I was ready. You know, I had a manager mom and an artist father, so I was able to see both sides of the business. So, I mean, literally our first tour, we all came home with money. You know, like,
which doesn't happen very often.
No, dude, it's about, you know, finding the guys that are willing to sacrifice a lot to make that happen. You know, sleeping in vans and
making the right decisions.
Yes, and I think a lot of bands, they get too big too fast, and they just start going on buses and wasting all this money. And it's like, man, if you did one of those tours in a van, you would all be set for an entire year, you know.
We were just having a discussion about the aborted run we just did. It's like, had we done this in a van, boys,
you know, and that's, you know, you just never know what to expect or what to do, but, you know, you just got to go with what you feel is right and accommodating everybody, though. That's the thing, you know, you've got 5 or 6 different personalities and everybody kind of wants something a little different. So I was fortunate to have guys that were just like, I don't even care, you know, I want to come home and have some money and enjoy the tour and, you know, really grind it out, you know, be homeless, basically.
But you guys have been out here for like a while.
Yeah, it's been crazy, you know. We're fortunate to have a killer label behind us, and, you know, they do something that I think these words don't exist, and it's called tour support. Mm-hmm. And they help us
with an awesome manager.
Yes,
it definitely helps negotiate stuff out.
Yes, completely. And, you know, this label owner, you know, he's like 2 years older than me, like 35, and the first time we met, he was in the pit of the show.
That's so cool.
The owner of the label, you know, this guy's worth millions of dollars, and, you know, he could do whatever he wants, doesn't need to care, but he was in the pit, and, you know, I never saw that before. So it fired me up, and we've been, you know, his band, and he's been our label since, you know, like 10 years
Give him a shout out.
Brad Hardy, Minus Head, we love you and everything you do, and just don't stop, man. You paved the way for hopefully the future of what should be, you know, because I think indie is going to be what we have to go towards, because these major labels are just relying on things like Spotify that doesn't help us.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
That's just, it's kind of scary, but when you can find the right label that backs you and believes in you and wants to develop you, you can do anything.
We're basically traveling t-shirt salesmen at this point.
Yes, we are. We're Carney game guys, and that's I've always said it. You know, merch keeps us afloat, and the day that dies, it might get a little scary, but, you know, fans have still been supportive on that end.
Well, they can't download a shirt just yet.
Yes. No, but they're starting to screen print their own, which is kind of crazy.
The South America are really good at that. Yeah.
Yes. You can go down there and find stuff that I want to buy.
Seriously, yeah. I normally just go down and I said, that's my band, I'm taking it. That's my band. Whenever I do it.
We can't afford to make all these cool items, but down there they can. And, you know, you go down there and get an ashtray with your name
Seriously,
on it.
Or a coffee cup.
Dude, it's cool. So it has its balances, you know, like everything else in this business.
What's coming up next for Incite?
We have a festival in London, Incineration Festival with Mayhem and Septic Flesh, which we're super stoked on. And then for the first time ever, we're on one of the major festivals this summer, Bloodstock, which we're the opening band on the first day of the main stage.
Nice.
This is something that I've dreamt about this moment since I did the Dynamo Fest, because I've been to 10 million of these things, and
but now it's your band.
Yes, and now I feel the butterflies already, and every night I go to bed and I literally play the entire show through my head, just what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna act. You know, it's crazy, man. But to be on that, you know, I know you've done these and you understand how insane they are, and it's a
surreal experience.
It's a chance for your band to be in front of an entire crowd that you probably play in front of a whole year, you know, doing club shows. So I
always feel so out of breath for some reason. It's not because I'm out of breath.
So it's
just I'm just so excited.
Yes, there's words can't describe it, and you know that it's just a feeling that so few of us will really ever get a feel, to have that kind of energy of that many people.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
That's what it's all for.
Yes, man, totally. So that's going to happen, and then some American touring, and then back to Europe. So it's going good. You know, the new album's kicking ass. You know, it's our most successful to date, which is exciting. And,
which is what you want.
Yeah, man, and have people still buying CDs, which is
I find
strange.
in Europe people buy more CDs than in the States.
Yes, totally.
I have to say that.
It's still cool to see that people still want the disc, they still want this artwork, and you know, I don't think it'll really ever die. And vinyl now, you know, is bigger than it's been in 30-40 years. So I think the people have tried the digital and they like it because the convenience and the easiness of it, but I think the sound is just not there yet.
And the experience of holding something in your hand.
Yes,
that's why I can't do the whole Kindle or Kudo, whatever, the digital book thing. I can't do it.
I don't have any of that stuff. So I don't have a Spotify account. I buy CDs. I check bands out on the radio, and that's kind of how I still learn. And, you know, going to shows, I try to attend as many shows as I can when I'm home and see new bands and young bands and local bands and everything in between.
You mentioned you just moved to Las Vegas. Is there a metal scene there?
Vegas is weird in that aspect because people are usually just tourists there. So it's very hard to find that residential people that come out to every show and support every show. So I haven't quite seen that come
like
to
people
fruition.
that work for the hotels almost?
Yeah,
or?
and it's like it's just kind of weird in that aspect. You'll get people to come to your show that are like, oh, I'm just here on vacation and I saw you were playing, so
Just cool.
yeah, it's different, to have somebody from like New York and Vegas on vacation and he's like,
It'd be really fucking cool if like a big dude went and bought into like a hotel and one of the hotel shows was like a metal thing,
and just turned it around.
When Ozzy's eventually going to settle in at Mandalay or something.
Yes, I can't wait for that moment because I think those guys are getting to that age where they can go do the Vegas residencies and you don't have to sit through the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and shit like that. You'll get to see maybe Alice Cooper,
or Halford or something.
Yes, completely, and I see that coming soon and definitely will expand on what metal could be. But the cool thing about Vegas right now is a lot of the people that used to live in LA are fleeing to Vegas, because LA is just not what it used to be. It's not that music mecca like you grew up learning about. So Vegas now you have Vinnie Paul when he was alive was there. All these kind of bigger mainstream bands are going there, and I dig it. It's close to Arizona still, so I can still be 100% involved with the band and still have a little distance to feel like I actually get a break for once. So that's cool. Oh, let's try this.
Yeah, we're moving on. Same brewery, Hoppen and Molt Warnemünde. I hope I'm saying it right. And it's an Ostsee Stout, which is funny because in French, Ostsee, it could be like Ostsee tabarnak, like as a...
Now, this is the oatmeal, right?
I think it's an oatmeal stout. I think so.
Whoa.
I know that it's an oyster stout, and my vegan self
kind of oily looking. I like that.
Cheers.
I'm a dark beer guy.
Yeah. Very,
cheers, brother.
Very dark. It's got not much mousse.
Oh, see, that's a beautiful taste.
That's nice. It's smooth. It's like hoppy again.
Wow.
It's not malty like I was expecting at all.
What is that aftertaste?
It's like the hops. It's like bitter.
It almost tastes like beef jerky, but it's delicious.
5.2%.
Oh, there we go.
Smooth. It's really good.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so
you
happy.
Found some good ones.
So happy.
Yes. Cheers again, my friend.
Cheers. Thank you for doing it.
Yes, dude. Oh, see, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Have a beer and enjoy conversation.
That's it. It's two friends hanging out.
I dig it.
You are an intense hype man on stage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your technique, your frontmanship. You seem to attack the crowd.
Yeah,
but in a very friendly way.
I always see live shows, and that's something that just kind of bothered me lately. A lot of bands will kind of just be up there and just kind of going through the motions. And I think what fans want, rather than just a thing full of gimmicks, is just that feeling of connection, and you do that very well.
Well, thank you.
The Ingested Singer does that very well, and that, I think, getting people's attention to put the phone down and, focus, because attention spans are so bad now, and when you're just in their face, they can't get away from you, and that's how I've always went. I've always been lucky with this crazy energy that, when I was growing up, I could run 20 miles, never stop, and smoke a pack of cigarettes and still run 20 miles. And luckily I found the right job to unleash that in. I was never really good at sports and stuff like that. So this just became what I did. And then I just developed a stage face, which you got to have. You
have to.
You got to look real mean, but then show a smile that you have this different side of you, that people get. And I think coming from the South, I use a lot of words that kind of crack people up, like saying hella live, when I'm up on stage, and goddamn, things like that. That
I like how you call the crowd metalheads.
Yes, because I've always wanted to think of something that bonds us all, and rather than, always calling them motherfuckers like a lot of people do, it kind of pushes people away in my view.
As opposed to gathering them all together into one unit. Yes,
and, watching the band Septic Flesh recently, they would call everybody brother and sister, and things like that. And I just think what metal has been since day one is unification of all of us that attend these shows, and especially with women being there now and involved with it, I just always wanted to find something that brought us together rather than separating some. So we're all metalheads, no matter what. Whether you're there for black metal, death metal, grindcore, whatever, it's all coming from the same place, and that's just heavy emotion, energy, aggression, and vibe.
Love.
Yes.
I always think there's a lot of love.
There is, because
in a metal pit.
when you catch that smile on someone's face, and you can tell they're having a memory of maybe something else that brought that smile out that you're giving them at the moment of just pure happiness. And that's just cool, because you're really angry, but it's got we're some of the nicest people ever, and that's what's cool about metalheads, man. There's
that stupid meme going around now with the Hulk.
Yes, but it's true. You know, it's so true, man. At least for most of us, I think that's just us getting out our aggression, and that's why we do what we do, because if not, we might be at a bar fighting somebody or getting arrested or fighting with a significant other, and this allows us to not build things inside. So
it's a cathartic experience.
Yes, I
say it a lot on the podcast.
It's amazing,
Yeah. I used to be a really angry person, I think, before I started being in death metal.
Yes, and now you have that release, so then you can laugh like we do and enjoy the day, and like you did, take a walk and just check things out and enjoy the peacefulness of what we're allowed to get out.
You gotta take in what you can on tour.
Yes, not sit in just a dark club bar
on Facebook or on Instagram.
Yes,
refreshing.
Totally, man. I love it.
What would be a dream tour for Incite? A lineup, let's say, yourself and 2 bands.
I would love to play with Slayer, because I think they all, that's the band. That was
they are the top.
They kind of started this movement of what's happening and the craziness of it, and the other would be Lamb of God.
I could see you guys working really well with them.
Randy, he's a big influence on my personal career and what I do, and I watched a lot of video of him live and watched a lot of his shows to totally just feel out what do they do that makes
it connects so well, and it just works so well.
There's these certain dudes that can just grab a whole 20,000 people and just like nothing, bro.
Bruce Dickinson.
Yes, it's surreal, and I think seeing that guy do what he does for being as pissed off as he looks, and then you talk to him afterwards.
He's the nicest dude.
Whoa, dude! Like, I didn't expect that. So I think those would be out of control.
That would be.
I would cry every night.
Slayer does one more.
All these farewell tours, they always got to come back a little bit, because it's not always about money. It's, how this is, man. When you go home, that's a hard void to fill.
Not the adulation and
for the first 2 weeks you're home, you're like, okay, I'm all right with this, but then it's like, no.
It's when I go back to work, sometimes I have these moments of, this is really different than what I was doing last week.
Yes.
Let me wash these dishes a little bit.
And people don't get that. They think most of us just go home and we just sit and wait till the next tour. And it's, no, I'm out postmating or, cleaning bathrooms at the beach or, like you said, whatever you can to do to get by. But it's such a mind fuck.
It's really, really weird.
That's why I understand why these dudes, they're 70 and they want to keep rocking, because sometimes it's not about just money. It's about that passion to fill that void in your
gut. That feeling.
Yes, and probably skydiving might help that, but you couldn't do that every day, So, yeah, that's definitely what it did.
You could say no. You mentioned shit happened in Switzerland.
Oh, gosh.
Do you feel like speaking about it?
Yeah, totally, because, I'm an out front person with marijuana, because, I know what it's done for my life and how much it's helped me. I would probably be a pill junkie because of my back and my the pains that I have from just being an idiot as a kid.
No, we don't need opioids.
I don't ever want to touch that. So when marijuana came in, it was kind of this thing that, just kind of helped those situations, and I didn't feel like I was ruining my life, So we rocked the show Monday night. We killed it. Everybody just absolutely went nuts. The whole show was beautiful from beginning to end. The promoter,
it was super cool. The promoter,
yeah, it was so great. And we must have drove 10 feet not even out of the parking lot, and then just this souped up black car pulled right in front of us. I answered all of his questions responsibly. I gave him everything he needed, but for some reason he still felt that wasn't enough, which, is unfortunate, because even in America, they talk to you, they get your vibe, and if you're being shady or feeling weird, then they'll proceed. But this guy just wanted to do this, whether he was having a slow night because it was a Monday or whatever. He had to go forward, and I passed the breathalyzer first, and then he wants to pull out this thing that scrapes your mouth and all this crap, and you have no say.
What they're looking for is if you've consumed marijuana.
Yeah, or any drug. Apparently, this mouth swab can test for 10 different kinds of drugs.
Really?
And how does it work? Does it work where 6 hours, 24 hours? Because where I come from, you're allowed to smoke, so obviously it's in my blood. I'm prescribed it. I was just in Holland on 420, so it's like my blood is THC right now. So they did the swab, and then they're like, you got to come down to the hospital, and we're gonna do all this crap and fine you. And then my drummer tried getting in the car to drive, and they wanted to start doing all the tests to him too, and it just was really unnecessary. You felt like you were in somewhere like Russia and Switzerland, and that should not be the case. It's 2019. Like, go after real people doing bad shit, because I'm not
real criminals. Yeah,
I'm not a first-time smoker where I'm getting in a car and I'm going to harm somebody. I couldn't picture myself driving,
and
not
your
being
limits.
High. Yes. And, I couldn't picture myself not driving high because I get too anxiety without it. I get too freaked out. People drive like idiots, man. You could die. I had a brother that died in a car wreck. So I think for me, anytime I step into a car, could be your last time. So for me, I just never thought of that. I know don't ever drink and drive, but to this, it never seemed like an issue to me. I've had, hundreds of friends that do it that never had an issue or nothing. I've never had a parking ticket. So to go from no ticket ever in my life to a $3,000 fine and, blood drawn and all this crazy shit.
How long did all this take?
It took about 3 or 4 hours.
Jesus.
In the freezing cold, after a show, and we have a drive to the show the next day. And, I'm thankful because I was let go. And,
was there an option they could have detained you?
Yes. And I'm still an idiot, though. I need to be 100% responsible for what I did because I'm in charge of 3 other people's lives in a band, and it falls on me. So I learned definitely a valuable lesson, and going forward I will make sure I hire a driver for all my tours and not have that worry that something could happen, or just if I endanger somebody, I couldn't live with that. So I
absolutely
think, it was probably a good wake up call actually, for me. We go in America and we're burning while we drive, and we call our van the Burnasium, and we're just, like I say, we just don't see it like the issue that some of these other people that are misinformed do. But like I said, it's my fault, and I'll deal with it, and I'll take care of it. And
at the end of the day, what is it going to be?
A lot of money, but you know what? Money is nothing. It's everything, and you need it to live. But
you can always get more.
The fact that I still have my freedom in my life, that's what's more important to me, and I think that made me realize that, because I've been very stupid in my life. I'm very lucky to not be arrested and in jail for the rest of my life for dumb things. So I think it was just somebody going, hey, you're getting older, you have a wife, you have a puppy, try to grow up just a little bit, so it was cool. I needed something like that. I was getting a little careless.
It's a very mature way of looking at all of this.
It took my wife to really talk to me to make me understand that,
They're really good at doing that.
They are. They cut to your core.
They know us better than we do. Yeah.
Are you married as well?
I am. Yeah.
Children?
Yeah. 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's my next step, but just touring so much, I respect all
you
the fathers.
You got to be home at the right time.
Yes,
to make it work.
You guys, what you do to leave children and then still raise them amazingly, and a killer band is just, man. You guys are super dads, dude, and I think people could take a lot of lesson from what you guys do, because there's dads that are home 24/7 and they just suck.
They're never present.
Yeah, so. Metalheads are just, like I say, a special breed.
Oh, thank you. I'm very present when I'm home.
Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers. Thank you for
mad love
sitting down with me. One last question: what is your favorite of your father's bands? If you had to pick one.
I really dig The Killer Be Killed.
Yeah, me too. Are they doing another record?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
You can tell me after.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Awesome.
Who cares? They can sue me if they want.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I guess rumors are they were just in town working on some songs. So I'm just waiting to see this thing live because they only did
in Australia, no?
5 shows, I believe, down there, and those are the only people to ever get to see it. So I'm hoping.
You festival people, get your money together and pay for Killer Be Killed.
Dude, I mean, you got Troy, you've got Greg, you got Max, you've got amazing artists. So pay them.
It's true. I really like that project.
Pay them, get them out. And one other thing I got to throw it in is the Max and Igor performing their old catalog together.
I had an opportunity to open for that, because Black Dahlia couldn't do some dates.
Out of control, right?
Got called in. Yeah,
out of control, right?
Yeah, it was I'm a new metal child.
Yeah,
I'll admit to it. I've said it on the podcast before. That Roots album was like big for me.
Oh, completely.
Really, really big for me. Yeah.
Completely. So
to get to see it,
see them jamming. I think it just shows that
Mike Patton on it.
Things can get shitty, but with family, you can always repair and keep it going forward. And music's so powerful that it brings shitty things back to normal. To have a relationship with my uncle again is killer. So, yeah, I love everything, man.
That being said, I wasn't sure if I was going to ask this or not. Will there ever be a Sepultura reunion? Do you think that?
Andreas is just too jealous, man.
Okay.
It's been offered several times, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and Igor and Max are all for it. And I just think there's a lot of baggage in the way, man. And if you can't be unjealous, I don't think you can ever move forward with it. It might take, them to be nothing and really desperate to make it happen, but I'm not holding my breath. My reunion, I think, is Max and Igor doing what they're doing.
It's awesome, yeah.
Because the brothers, that's Sepultura to me, and it's what changed a lot of our lives, those two dudes. So hopefully they'll just keep doing what they're doing and just go with the flow.
Oh, cheers. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. Really appreciate it.
Love you.
I'm so sad it's the last night. We could have done this a lot longer.
It's going to happen
It'll
again.
happen again.
We know it. It's the way the stars always align, man.
Cheers, brother. Thank you so much.
Love it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for listening right to the end, you crazy Vox and Hops heads. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I did. Richie, you were great. Thank you so much for being so forthcoming, so honest, and just so very, very cool. I really enjoyed hanging out with you, meeting you. I'm looking forward to playing some more shows with Incite. I wish you guys all the best. You're a great band, super professional, super nice dudes. If you guys ever want to send me a question, send me some requests, some suggestions of who I should be interviewing, what I should be drinking, and if you want to sponsor the podcast, hit me up at matt@voxandhops.com. That's matt@voxandhops.com. And I'll be more than happy to read them and answer all of your questions and listen to your suggestions. I hope you have a great week. I hope you hang out with your family, give your kids a big, strong hug. I'm missing mine. I'm looking forward to getting back to them, as I mentioned. Enjoy life, metal, and craft beers. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.